This is my HD500. This is a situation where the USB connector is not working. So what I'm going to try to do is try to figure out what I learned on YouTube. There was a guy who replaced the USB connector on his. As you can see, mine's got the similar or same issue. The center pole, or the center little, I don't know, plastic thing is broken off. Mine never came with it. I bought it used, which is what I buy all my stuff. So I'm going to take this thing apart and try to figure out how to fix this. The guy that did a video, it was like a time-lapse video on his repair. He actually had to replace the chip, which I'm really hoping I don't need to do, because if I have to replace the chip, then I don't think I can do that. My soldering skills are pretty much limited to doing a USB connector. So I'm not going to go through every single step. I'll go through taking it apart and whatnot, but I'll kind of piece this together so it's not a half-hour video. So stick around. Thanks. All right, I'm disassembling this. First thing to do is to remove the back panel. Just a note, something I learned once before when I was inside this thing. You don't need to remove these 2 feet, just the corners. All right, so that's first. Lots going on in here. So it looks like I've got to remove, and I know the guy from the video ended up removing. Let's see if I get this thing. He disconnected this. I believe he left the foot switch panels, which is good. Panels, I don't even know what the hell they are. I want to say he removed the rocker switch for the expression pedal, because it looks like this looks important right there. So we're going to have to be really careful. The USB connector is right there. And yeah. So, continuing. Alright, so one of the first items that I got to be careful of is this ribbon cable and this connector are held together by this, looks like hot melt glue. So in order for me to pop this off and without ruining the connection to the PCB, I'm going to have to slice that with a razor. Alright, so I got it out. It was really a pain to get out. And that's the old USB connector. It basically just fell apart as I was taking it out. And you can see in there, that's the problem. And there's the new one. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Get the solder out of those little holes. And then say a prayer that this worked. Alright guys, so I should have looked at the clock before I started this thing. It's probably been like maybe an hour and a half. It's all back together. Everything's back in. I ended up not taking out, let's see if I can see this. I didn't undo this because this top thing came off and I didn't want to mess with it. So I ended up taking these two nuts off, pulling these out. And when you pull these out, you gotta be careful because there's a little plunger underneath with a spring. It's pretty well documented that that's a real pain in the neck to work with. But getting it back in, getting the board back in was kind of difficult. But I did it, and it is all back together. Just got to put the cover back on it, and I just tested it out, and it works. So I'm extremely thankful that worked. And there's the new USB. So I'm gonna hook it up again after. Oops, sorry, dizzy. After I put it back together and give it another test, but it's working.